Hi there, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this recording of the Master of Behaviour and Systemic Change. I'm Filia Garivaldis. I'm the course director and convener of the Master's program. I have a social and organisational psychology background, and in more recent years, I've been teaching behavioural science and behaviour change and researching educational best practice and how we can apply behavioural insights to improve and address our education challenges. And I'm joined today by my colleague, David Robertson. Hi, David.
Hi, Filia. Thanks for tuning in as well. My name's David. I'm a lecturer in the Sustainable Development Education team. My background's in environmental science, science communication, and more recently, interdisciplinary sustainability education with a focus on systems thinking and systemic change, as well as creativity and innovation for making change to make the world a better place.
So David and I will be running through this short presentation with you today to introduce you to the Master of Behaviour and Systemic Change. We'll begin with a brief summary of the context within which the course is situated. And then we'll discuss the course in details, including what you would learn, when, how you will learn, and what tools and methods you can take away to apply to your work and to your career to create behaviour and systemic change. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands from which David and I are coming to you today. So they're the Bunurong people at Clayton, where our offices are located, and we'd like to pay our respects to their elders and leaders, their past, present, and emerging. We also recognise the significant contributions that Indigenous knowledges and modes of understanding and learning can make to how we learn and how we practice education, and also how we conduct our research and how we collaborate with our partners. We recognise that our traditional custodians from the history, preparing the next generation is a collective effort, and it's contributed to by many. That learning is a holistic process, involves more than just the acquisition of knowledge. So we try and bring this knowledge to the course to offer experiential opportunities for learning, enable emotional reflection, how these guide our actions, and help us form a deeper connection with the subject matter. And that is all for the purpose of not just equipping students with the ability to respond to change, but also to drive and create change. So the latest global challenges that we're experiencing in the world today are also sustainable development challenges. And what is important to note is that whilst our societies are evolving and growing at an accelerating rate, they are also becoming more complex. There are more interdependencies, which means that finding solutions to address these societal challenges is harder. We need to be able to address the challenges that we face, whether they are challenges around climate change, resource depletion, whether they concern economic and social inequality or health crises. There are various points of leverage that we can address and draw on, both at the individual grassroots level, where individual actions and behaviours occur, as well as at the meso-societal level, where policy and organisational structures sit. At Monash, we do know how both behavioural and systems change are required and critical for creating a sustainable, just, and resilient future. So what is the solution? For transformative societal change, we need both behavioural and systemic approaches. Behavioural change focuses specifically on transforming individual and collective actions, promoting more sustainable ways of perhaps consuming, of making decisions, and other preventative or restorative practices. So, for example, we're concerned with who does what do they need to do differently, what motivates that behaviour, and how do we design interventions to address those motivations to change behaviour. Systemic change, on the other hand, is all about restructuring the larger frameworks, the policies, the institutions, and the cultural norms that our behaviours sit within. So systemic change reshapes the underlying systems that drive unsustainable practices, enabling societies to implement solutions that are then going to be scalable, equitable, and lasting.
And Monash is the home of a whole range of different kinds of efforts to advance behavioural change and knowledge about how to do that effectively, systemic change, and transdisciplinary work that brings them together. And a few examples that are shown on this slide include the large-scale Fight or Flourish project, which looked at reinventing how we understand and support communities in responding from disaster events. The top left image here is from the RISE program, which involved 5 different Monash faculties, a range of interdisciplinary international partners, and work in Indonesia and Fiji on informal settlements and improving health and environmental outcomes in a whole range of creative ways there. At the bottom right, we have one of our thought leaders and educators from Behaviour Works, who are globally recognised behaviour change experts and contribute across a range of programs and initiatives at Monash. And then also we have expertise in leadership and the development of champions of change and experts. So the bottom left-hand corner is some of our existing curricular education offerings that are about making change, leading change, and enabling it using behavioural and systemic approaches. And what we designed this master's in response to is an industry demand for highly transferable skills that are oriented about making change in complex systems. So on the left-hand side of this slide, this is actually a study that was done in collaboration between Monash and GovLab over in New York that looked at what kinds of skills are valued by industry, and these kind of radar plot, you can see things like awareness and interest are around the outside, but the actual amount of training of skills like behavioral insights, systems thinking, innovation, problem definition was very low among the industry participants surveyed. So we wanted to offer formal places where you can come, learn, reflect, and connect around these important and in-demand skills.
And the pie chart on the right of the slide shows the various sectors and industries that we are already providing behavioural and systems change training to. So you can see there's strong representation from the public sector, also the healthcare sector, communications, and a range of others. So we are already seeing that there is a need for behaviour and systems change across many different organisations and industries. And this is an example of, well, here we have some example partners that we have worked with previously who we've delivered behaviour and systems change training to, either training or we've also worked with them quite closely to enable behaviour change within their teams and for their audiences or for their clients. So in terms of where you could apply the knowledge and the tools and skills that you are gaining from this program, here is just a small handful of organisations that are already needing those skills. So who is this course actually for? So we have 3 different types of students that we are anticipating joining us in this course. We have working professionals, of course, who are perhaps already working in industry and they know what is missing. They are experiencing the challenges and the demands on them for creating change. And they've come to this program because they want to upskill, they want to offer more in their role, or they may be looking for a career change and looking to do that through their work. We have a group of domestic graduates that we are welcoming as well. They may have been inspired by their previous degree, whatever that might have been, and wherever they may have received that degree, and looking to create and embark on a career that is going to be meaningful for them and rewarding. And finally, we are anticipating a small group of international students as well who might be coming from abroad, from further away, coming to Australia, coming to Monash to learn from the experts that sit at Monash University and that conduct their work and their research there. So looking to come and take that knowledge and perhaps even return back to their country with new insights to apply.
So why do we think that this is the right course to meet these big global challenges and the recognized gap in industry training and skills? One is that this is a course that has been designed specifically from scratch to address the need of change-making professionals. So this is not something that's been cobbled together through a range of existing units and rebranded. It's been built and designed from the ground up to address these kind of needs. It also draws on existing deep expertise from across Monash University. So a lot of the course content draws on things that are within our network and within our ecosystem where we've got deep expertise. The actual educator team that is running this course are specialists in transformative and empowering education, as well as networked and in our own right, relating ourselves to change and sustainability and so on. The course is practical, so we absolutely include theory because it's a master's level course, but we want you to be able to apply these kinds of tools and skills and principles in a week, in a month, in a year, in a decade across your career. And we also want you to be able to learn from and engage with peers from diverse backgrounds, but who are having a shared commitment to achieving behaviour and systemic change in their roles. And we've seen already some of the career outcomes from students who've engaged with either curricular units that we already offer or broader courses that we run for things like professional development, that they can apply behaviour and systemic change and their leadership skills into NGOs in the third sector, often in kind of strategic or partnership or people-oriented roles, businesses. Plenty end up in consultancies, often more specialist consultancies that are about working with front runners and innovation, as well as kind of core operational work with businesses who are undergoing transformation and change in response to or to lead in their sectors. And then the government, which is inherently concerned with wicked and societal complex problems and needs people who are able to grapple with them and not just be on the back foot all the time. And so there's a lot of different roles that are required by government to apply these kinds of skills. And so these are actual graduate roles. We've seen things like people who've started or worked on their own houses, people who've worked in network and kind of cross-sectoral organizations like bringing together climate change and health, people who have driven forward innovation in the education sector, as well as those who've worked at things like specialist climate change consultancies or broader consultancies.
So let's have a quick look at the course content, what you will learn when you come to this master's program. So here we have a broad range of different tools and skills and frameworks that you will come and become familiar with. So some of these come specifically from the behaviour change discipline. Others come from a wider, more systems science, transition science space, and others involve combining both behaviour and systems tools together. So you can see that there's a broad range of tools here, ranging from research tools and methods, all the way to communication tools like engaging with stakeholders, all the way to designing interventions. But we don't just throw them at you like that. We have structured the course in a way that we believe is logical and scaffolded, so that your learning occurs follows a path. It follows a path of what you need to learn first and what you need to follow up with and develop as you move throughout the course to more advanced units. So if we're looking at this double diamond figure here that we think nicely captures the way our units are set out throughout the year, we start on the far left with some introductory units, all about discovering and understanding challenges, the need for change, and understanding complexity and how difficult it is to work within this space. Introducing you then to systems and behaviour change, so some Systems 101 and Behaviour 101 units in semester one, so that you can get some of the terminology and some of the key concepts down. In the middle of the year, we then progress to a design unit, all about using the insights that we have generated and drawn on from a target audience that we want to deliver change to and with. And how do we design for that target audience, keeping in mind both the behaviours that need to change, but also the systems that need to change. In semester two, we follow on with more advanced units of behaviour and systems change, going in a little bit more deeper into how we work with diverse groups, but also what are some of the theories and the decision-making biases that we find people or we need to work with, that people use when they're making decisions. And finally, at the very end of the course, on the far right, we will be ending our series of core units with a evaluation unit. So how do we know we've made change? How do we know we've made an impact? What do we need to measure along the way so that we can demonstrate that? So we've spoken about tools and methods so far today. These are just some figures and images of some of those tools that you would learn. So we have some behavior change tools on the left here and some systems change tools on the right. And in addition to those, we're also drawing on case studies. So these are case studies that may have come from within our teams at Monash Universities, from Behaviour Works team, from the work that our transitions experts have engaged in. The case studies are used to illustrate how theories and frameworks can be applied in practice, and we walk you through the process that we will follow from understanding the challenges to identifying what needs to change, who needs to do what differently, and then what interventions we're going to apply to achieve that.
And there's a question that you might be asking, what does this course lead to, or how will it change me? A model that we are inspired by in this course is that of a T-shaped professional. And that's acknowledging that everyone who arrives at a course that's oriented around these transferable skills like this will already have some kind of deep expertise, whether that be their first discipline, whether that be by being embedded in a sector like climate change or health or education for a long period of time. They bring that depth. And what we want to do is create a really strong, broad, change-oriented skill and capacity set. Everything from understanding systems, evidence, behavior, co-design, ethical decision-making, evaluating change, communicating with diverse people, facilitating that kind of thing. And so you'll hold on to all of the value that you've already developed and bring through your discipline and your professional experience, and broaden that to be someone who can apply transferable change-oriented skills anywhere that you go in the future of your career.
And that thinking is also being applied to how we've structured the course and how we've broken down our core units and our elective units. So this here is a very brief course structure. You can see that we have a series of units in year one, semesters 1 and 2, and also some units in year 2. If you're coming to this course to complete just the first year because perhaps you already have an existing disciplinary background and previous qualifications, you will be focusing your attention on the units that are in blue here. These are the core units that appeared on that double diamond framework we saw earlier, and that appeared at the top of the T that David just talked through. But if you're also coming to do another 6 months to develop yourself and your expertise in a particular discipline, because perhaps you want to enter a particular industry, then you'll also be required to complete a series of elective units. And I can give you some examples in a moment. And then again, we also offer the option of you conducting a research project. So for those of you who are thinking about research skills that you would like to gain, thinking about addressing a particular behavioural or systems challenge that you're perhaps working in your role, or if you're thinking about future doctoral studies, you may consider the research project option as well. And these are some of the units that you might select from if you are if you're selecting elective units, if you're wanting to get a grounding in a particular discipline. So we have just some examples here of units that are already accredited as part of our program. You can see that they neatly fall into, or maybe not so neatly because there's a lot of overlap, but they fall into these three main areas of focus that the university is supporting. That's climate change. Some units are on climate change, therefore, others on geopolitics and security, and we also have some units from health and communities space. And you can see that they come from a range of different faculties. So from arts and science, from public health, from law, and from business. And of course, the course wouldn't be what it is without the expertise and the education excellence that our education team brings. So this is our interdisciplinary teaching team that is teaching into this master's program. We are led by Professor Annetta Boss, and we each bring a different set of tools and skills to the program. We are also very much supported by professors from other parts of the university, Professor Liam Smith, who is the Director of Behaviour Works Australia, and Professor Rob Raven as well, who is a transitions expert.
And you might also be wondering, what is the learning experience going to be like? Maybe you've been out of university for a long time, or maybe you've just done an undergraduate degree with big cohorts. What does the postgraduate learning experience look like? And I'm going to draw your attention to the images that are on the right-hand side of this slide. These aren't stock photos. These are actually photos of real classes that have been run by the team that are going to be running this master's. So what we prioritize is collaborative learning, interactive learning. We do have independent study requirements that you'll need to engage with outside of class. And that might be a blend of practical and academic readings, videos, case scenarios, and other kind of pre-class preparation. And we definitely support flexible attendance, such as online attendance for students that are, say, working part-time, and so on. The biggest thing to note is that we really focus on application of theory. So you're not just going to be doing lots of readings and then talking about them. We will get you doing a lot in this course, and we will get you doing that in collaboration with your educators, with peers, and in some of the advanced projects, there's also opportunities to collaborate with industry. And again, if you've come from a background where, say, your discipline had lots of essays or lots of exams, you'll probably be quite surprised to see that we've got a lot of very applied tasks. So we want to assess you by mimicking or simulating the kinds of things that you'll be doing in practice, creating portfolios based on work in a process, writing policy briefs and memos, presenting pitch presentations for new behavioural or systemic ideas, which you can see, and this is a photo from another one of our classes on the right, presenting a proposed behavioural intervention, writing funding applications for innovation proposals, and then a lot of that is also grounded in really good quality reflective practice to understand how your own skills and learning are evolving in relation to what you've been learning.
So we invite you to consider this program for your future education. Think about what you'll be gaining, what we've talked about so far, the expertise on behaviour and systems that you will be taking away with you. You will be becoming a part of our ecosystem. So as we mentioned, we are a team of educators and experts that work very closely with each other. And we'd love you to join us as you take away those tools into your work as an extended family. You will be coming to collaborate and connect. And David's mentioned a few ways that you'll be doing that already, to connect with each other, to connect with experts, and to connect with the wider Monash community. And of course, you'll be taking away with you, or actually you'll be experiencing while you're here, the various services, support services and facilities that Monash University has to offer, including Monash Connect and English language support, our facilities and our libraries, and other student societies that you may want to be a part of. To join, to be eligible for this program, There are two different entry levels that you may be coming through. The first is if you have an Australian bachelor degree or equivalent from a cognate discipline. So here we have a broad range of disciplines that you could would support your eligibility. In this case, you will be coming to complete our 1.5 year version of the course. So that's our core units and those elective units that we've spoken about previously. Or you may be coming to us from this particular entry level 2, if you already have an honours degree perhaps, or you have another master's program, or you have a very strong, substantial work experience, you may receive credit and come and just complete the core units, the behaviour and systems change units. The process for applying, there's various steps involved. So there is an apply button on our Find a Course page on the university's website. Once you've applied, your application will be assessed, after which you will receive a letter of offer from the university, from the admissions team. That will take a few weeks to come through, and it can be a particularly busy time towards the end of the year. You will be in the position to either accept that offer, submit any other documentation that may be pending. So just follow those instructions that are provided to you. You will also receive instructions on how to enroll once you've accepted, how to enroll in the units that you wish to study. And of course, from there on, you'll be sitting tight and waiting for our orientation week, where we will be welcoming you to the program and welcoming you to the university. So we welcome you to get in contact with us if you have any questions. You're able to contact me directly. We can have a one-on-one meeting if you like through Calendly, or we can converse via email, whatever you're more comfortable with. You can ask me questions about credit, about your eligibility, about the units, about the structure of those units, and about what you can do next. Do also check out our website for any other information. We have some engaging videos that have been created by our experts talking about behaviour and systems change. So do have a look at those as well. And if you feel like you are ready to take that leap, do apply. The apply button is on our Find a Course page. So we thank you for your attention today. We hope you reach out if you have any questions, and we look forward to receiving your applications. So from me, thank you, and we hope to see you in our course soon.
Thanks very much for engaging with this. Hopefully we can learn with you in the future.